22. What are the rectangular coordinates for the point 5 comma 5 pi over 6? All right, this one, I wonder if it tricks you or not. What type of problem do you think this is? It is a polar problem. Does it say the word polar? No, this right here is a polar coordinate because it's a magnitude in a direction. It's a, you could say a radius and a theta. That is polar. So how do we do polar problems? Desmos. Okay, so here's how we will do this one. I'm going to clear this graph off. You want to make sure you're in a polar grid. So when you're on Desmos, every time when you're taking the test in School City, every time you go to a new problem, it will clear your graph and start you fresh like that. So how do you get it into polar grid? Wrench. Hit the wrench. Grid. Not only that, it'll also always start you in radians. Is this in radians? Yes. Okay, so we know we're on 5 pi over 6, and it's supposed to be the fifth circle. Now, I want to make sure you know this. If you just type that in, it will not graph it like that. So Desmos will not. Let me just show you. Does it graph that point correctly? No, it doesn't know how to plot the point. You just need to know where the answer is supposed to be. The answer is supposed to be on the fifth circle right there. That's the answer we're looking for. Now, we could probably take some guesses on what do you think the x should be? If it's supposed to be right here. Is the x supposed to be positive or negative? I'm hearing positives and I'm hearing negatives. Is it to the left or the right? To the left. So we need to have a negative x. So I'm going to start with A and B. Okay, so which one do you think is a better guess if there's the point? What would you guess the x is roughly? So count the circles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Would you say about 4 point something? Which one of these do you think is going to be 4 point something? You all don't know. Let's just go with A then. It's going to be A. I can just tell you right now, it's going to be A. That is negative 2.5. It's not that. I know that looking at it. So we go negative 5, square root of 3. Please be graphing with me. Vincent, are you actually graphing with me? Over 2, comma, 5 halves. Did that plot the point in the right location?
Roughly. Yeah.
I hear roughly. Does it look like it's the fifth circle?
Yeah.
I think it's perfectly on the fifth circle. Is it on 5 pi over 6? Answer choice A is the correct answer. This was selected 81% of the time correctly. So a lot of students did that correct. Now, if you don't think of that, you can always, I just want to remind you of this. You can always use sine y, cos x, tangent is y over x, and the Pythagorean theorem, x squared plus y squared equals h squared, and then solve those. One more time. You can use sine y, cos x on any problem, not just this problem, but any problem. If you get stuck somewhere, tangent is y over x, and then x squared plus y squared. That's wrong. X squared plus y squared equals h squared. If you ever break down, you can use these and solve. So on this one, Eduardo, what did they give me up here? Is this an x, a y, or an h and a theta? That's an h and a theta. So if they gave you h and theta, pick equations that include h and theta. So does this include h and theta? Come on up. Yeah, please. Does this equation down here give you an h and a theta? No, you wouldn't use it because it doesn't have an h and a theta. Does this have an h and a theta? No, it has a theta, but no h. So we wouldn't use those. You would use these two equations. You could solve and get x and y from them. Okay, so if you ever break down on that, just go back to good old faithful sine y cos x. If you can't think of how to do it, that's just an extra technique.